She's Bill, and this is my presentation on Louisiana medical laws for physical therapy. Let's get into it. So, consent. Basically, to start off, consent is one of the biggest things when it comes to like being a physical therapist, being a doctor, just in general. Consent is a very big thing. Basically, when it comes to consent to medical treatment in Louisiana, one must be mentally competent. Basically, meaning you're up, you can give an answer, you can write it down, you can give a verbal answer. That's what it meant. That's what it means to be mentally competent. You know what's going on. You're able to speak and give your own answer. If one is mentally ill or incompetent, the court will appoint the person, basically. So if you're in a coma and obviously can't say nothing, the court will pick somebody, such as maybe a relative, spouse, or somebody, to give a decision for you. If it is a medical emergency, the doctors take care of you without consent. So if you don't have someone written down or nobody to consent for you, the doctors take action without consent. Minors also have the right to consent. Basically meaning if you're like 12, just underage in general, you can give consent. You don't have to rely on your parents. If you tell a doctor, hey, I don't want my parents knowing this, you're obligated to do that. Physical therapist authority to practice. Basically, when it comes to physical therapy, one cannot do it without a referral. They cannot give a medical diagnosis of a disease, and there are circumstances if physical therapy services have to be performed without a prescription or referral, such as basically a child diagnosed with developmental disability, a patient in a nursing home, a patient at home healthcare agency, or someone who has been medically diagnosed within the past 90 days. There are code of ethics when it comes to physical therapy, and this comes from the American Physical Therapist Association. There are 8 principles. Integrity, that basically means you're respectful to everyone, regardless of who they are, their age. You're trustworthy. Basically, you're giving the correct information. You're not misleading anyone. This basically being truthful allows patients to make good decisions. Professional judgment basically means one can make independent and objective decisions in the patient or client's best interest in all practice settings. Relationships. It's good to have a good relationship with a patient, such as providing truthful, accurate, and relevant information. You're not doing any sexual things with your patients, misusing your power status, or harassing anyone. Legal and professional obligations. Basically, one complies with the state, federal laws and regulations. Basically, you're not doing shit that's illegal or unsafe. You're following what the state basically says. Enhancements of expertise, such as achieving and maintaining your professional competence. Promoting organizational behaviors, such as promoting practice environments that support autonomous and accountable professional judgments, and you're meeting health needs of all people. Now, this is American Physical Therapy Association. It is a Louisiana. It's basically a Louisiana chapter, so it's a class that physical therapists have to take. It's a requirement. So it's a requirement for your license. Every physical therapist has to take a chapter, or a class, basically. And when it comes to physical therapy, one must sign up for this. Basically, American Physical Therapy Association is organization that represents more than 88,000 physical therapists. There are 2 consecutive terms. There are qualifications one must meet, such as being a member for at least 1 year, being in good standing. The term begins on January 1st. And again, this is a requirement to get a license for physical therapy. So you have to be in a chapter. You have to complete a chapter. So qualifications / acceptance of licensures to practice medicine. For one to be qualified to do physical therapy, they have to have a license and meet the requirements that include being at least 19 years of age, having all chapter fees paid, graduate from an accredited school and physical therapist, be approved by Commission of Accreditation in Physical Therapy Education or the board, pass an examination to the satisfaction of the board. Once one is accepted and has a license, it is important to know how to renew it. Basically, you're supposed to renew your license every 2 years. The reason you have to renew your license is because if you don't, then you'll have to pay the renewal and reinstatement fee. And yeah, that's about it. And there's my reference page. Yeah, that's the Louisiana medical laws for physical therapy.